Hi, welcome to Soul Talk. This is Nancy Olin Weber with a fireside story. Have you ever felt something tug at your heart like a quiet whisper that says, do something, even when there's no logical reason to believe it'll help? That's what happened to me. The day a woman named Sue called, she'd lost her German Shepherd Bunny. And what unfolded during that phone call reminded me of something far deeper than just, and not just, finding a missing dog. It reminded me of how profoundly connected we are to animals, to memory, and to those invisible threads that bind us all together. She had read an article about how I help people find missing animals. And because of that, my phone rang one afternoon, and it was a call that cracked something open deep inside me. Her voice trembled. She said, I'm absolutely desperate. Her name's Bunny. She's a German Shepherd. I can't get around very well. I found your name in Grip Magazine. You do find missing pets, don't you? Huff. Her heartbreak poured through the phone line, and I said the only thing that felt true. I'll do whatever I can to help. But what happened next wasn't something I did in the usual sense. It was something that happened through me. My body stayed right there in Bud Lake, New Jersey, but my essence, what I call the soul part of all of us, was already gone. It lifted, moved, swept like wind across space and memory. Within seconds of speaking to Sue, I wasn't seeing through my own eyes anymore. I was seeing through the eyes of a dog. Not Bunny, but one I had known long ago. It was 1968 in Puerto Rico. I was pregnant then, living with my husband, Dr. Gilbert Arnold Preston, who was researching split brain function. Our daughter had just been born. One day, my OBGYN, a Navy physician, called. He asked, Nancy, would you take in a 5-month-old German Shepherd? My kids have been too rough with him. He's starting to bite. I said yes. I wrapped towels around my hands just in case. And yes, he bit. But what he got was a mouthful of terry cloth and a voice full of empathy. I didn't meet him with anger. I met him with sorrow for what he'd been through. And he calmed right down. He trusted. In that moment, we bonded completely. I thought of us as Mary and her little lamb. He didn't need to be trained, he needed to be heard. And from that day forward, he and my 3-month-old daughter were inseparable. He wasn't a bad dog. He was misunderstood like so many souls, human and animal alike, and our planet. That moment with Sue, that shift, wasn't about being psychic. It was a reminder. When we allow ourselves to feel something deeply and act on it, even when it makes no sense, we connect to something ancient, something wise, something true. It's not about being right. It's about being willing to trust, willing to love, willing to say, this matters. I'll try. Because when we do that, we aren't just helping others, we're remembering who we really are. If you've ever wept over a rescue story, I bet you have too, or opened your home to a stray, or whispered a prayer for a lost pet's return when you already know how sacred this work is. So here's my invitation to you. Share this story with someone who loves animals. Volunteer if you haven't yet, even once, with a rescue group or shelter. And most of all, trust what you feel when you see an animal in need. Because what you do may seem small, but what it's done with love, it always matters. As for Sue and Bunny, well, let's just say What unfolded next still gives me chills and a big smile every time I think about it. It's a story about faith and listening and the mysterious ways animals lead us home in more ways than one. You'll find the rest of that story and many others like it in my book, Nature Speaks: Conversations with Pets and Wildlife. The link is below because sometimes the answer we've looked for comes from voices we've forgotten how to hear. I need to add one little comment based on a conversation I had recently. Dogs bark is their language. I know it may sound intrusive and embarrassing sometimes for some people, but please understand, they don't speak your language. They speak theirs, but they are speaking and they are attempting to tell you something or tell somebody something. It's not just bark, bark. So next time, if you don't know, mentally ask, send that out to that wonderful dog, that wonderful cat who meows loud, whatever it is, send that message of, please let me know what this means. That's it. And then go about your world. You may get an answer that surprises you. Thank you for listening and watching. If this story touched you, I invite you to join my newsletter where I share more true stories and techniques, soul to soul communication throughout it. With love and in service. Nancy, thank you. Have a blessed day.